All right, guys, welcome to Sharpen Your Sword, episode 2. I want to start off by saying thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the love. I really appreciate all the sharing, the subscribing, the likes, the comments, the messages, the calls. You guys honestly gave me a lot more motivation to keep going. And I really appreciate you guys. I really love you guys. And please, keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing, because this way it will give us the ability to keep giving you guys value so we can help you out as much as possible. Today's episode 2, and I'm shooting it with co-host Giovani Jimenez, and today's guest is Nguyen. And I'm gonna let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about himself, and then we'll go on from there.
Hello, guys. I just want to say thank you for having me on your podcast. It's an honor. For those who don't know that my name is Nguyen, I came to America when I was 6 months old. My parents are immigrants. We're from Vietnam. After that, fast forward, after high school, I went to the Marines, 2016 to 2020. After that, I got discharged, and then I went to school, right? And then that's where I'm at right now. Currently, I'm a senior at UFM. Fast forward about last year before I joined the gym, I trying to sign up a year before that, but you guys wasn't there. I thought you guys just opened up, so I didn't sign up that day. So I waited to another year, and then after that, I think on September, that's when I joined and signed up at Border Martial Art.
Yeah,
really. That's when the journey began.
So that's a little rough rough idea of Ben's history, and today we're going to go more in depth about that. And I wanted him to be on my podcast because over the last year, Ben has become a very good friend of mine, helping me. He's coaching me in strength and conditioning and stuff like that. So we've gotten very close in the last year. I would say that.
Some say too close.
Hey, don't forget we're on live right now. So he came in about a year ago. And Ben is very unique. He doesn't like when I say that. And as a coach, we don't. Everybody that walks through my gym, I said it last time, is unique to me. Everybody's unique in one way or another. Okay, but one thing I see as a coach is somebody's always coming and telling me, Coach, I'm gonna be the next Conor McGregor. I'm gonna be this 100%. Champion. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. And because of my upbringing and all that, I realized success is hard, okay? And for them, they see success on TV. They don't see what it takes to be there. They just see the end point, okay? Yeah. And so sometimes it's not that I want to count these guys out or overlook these guys. It's just I've heard it too many times. I've heard it thousands of times. Some of the closest people to me say the same thing, and I judge the book. I don't try to judge the book by the cover, but I judge it by the actions.
Yeah.
Okay, so talk is cheap. You can talk as much as you want. You know what I'm saying? It's the actions that makes it count. That shows what you're really about. And so when you first came in, I remember Giovani signed you up, and I'm like, okay, another big guy, another meathead is what I thought. He told me you're a power lifter, and I was like,
bodybuilder.
Bodybuilder, not power lifter.
Big difference.
A bodybuilder, and I'm like, okay, here's a meathead. You were 200 pounds solid.
Whoa. I wouldn't say 200 pounds.
How much were you?
I think it was like 198, bro.
Yes, thank you, Gio.
Okay, 198 and 200. Big difference, okay? So for me, 150 pounds, I'm like, okay, that's a big dude, right?
Yeah.
But you were a solid dude. I know you were going to bring strength to the table, And I've come across those guys that lift weights and do this, but jiu-jitsu is a different animal.
Oh, yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is a completely different animal.
100%.
Business is a completely different animal. And so the filter is there. There's no 3 or 6 or 9 months or a year, 2, 3 years later, then you get filtered out. People get filtered out within the first couple of months. Okay, and I looked at G and I'm like, we'll see how long he lasts. I remember one thing that I had respect for is you didn't think. I remember. I think I heard it or Gio told me like, yeah, I'm not gonna wait. I want to sign up now. I don't need to try a class.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 100%. This guy he was the first person that ever signed up, and it was like after hours when no one is in the gym, and then he just walks in and he was like, yeah, I'm ready to sign up right now, and I'm like, for the whole year? You're like, I'm down for the whole year, and then he signed up for the whole year, and the guy's still here, and he's probably gonna be here forever.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Just kidding. He's gonna kill me after this.
Maybe. And that's we actually talked about that maybe on our run the other day, last week.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it was this Monday actually.
Or Wednesday.
No, it was on the long run.
Oh yeah.
Cause I remember exactly where we were when we were running when you brought it up.
What?
We were on Bahalia and
yeah.
Drive. Anyway, guys, a year and a month later,
Yeah, 13 months.
13 months into the jiu-jitsu journey.
Oh man. Yeah, I remember when I first signed up. I didn't really like rewind a little bit. I remember that day actually. Like I felt after my bodybuilding competition, I really didn't want to do bodybuilding. I really just want to do it for my brother. But after my bodybuilding competition, I had like a couple of months of just like pondering what I'm gonna do with my life, like to stay active. Because believe it or not, I hate working out. I hate it.
I hate it.
It's terrible, but but I have to do it. So just one day, like I didn't even like you said, I didn't even think. I just did it. Like I just had this feeling that I need to get off my couch or bed, right? And I just need to get to this gym. So I'm like, okay, I gotta sign up for this gym no matter what. I have to wait. If I have to wait outside that door to get somebody, then I would, So that's how determined I was to like sign up for a gym, because I've been wanting to do jiu-jitsu for a long time, right? I fell in love with the sport when I watch it, So that's what I did that day, and then I signed up, and then 2 months in, I competed.
Yeah.
And got absolutely destroyed.
Yeah.
There's a very memorable photo of him in his competition.
Hey,
It's
we're not
always
talking
funny.
about that. All right.
It's epic.
I remember that, man. And I remember when you told me you were going to sign up, and I think I just said, go for it.
Yeah, I was. I wanted you to say just push me a little bit more, because I was on the edge. But you're just give it time to give experience. I would have if you told me to sign up for a competition one weekend of my jiu-jitsu journey, I would have done it.
Yeah. And that's something that I learned after training with you and coaching you, that you're the kind of guy, like you said, you had the determination to sign up and train right away, is you're the kind of guy that's just tell me what to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And as a coach, I don't think it gets better than that.
Being coachable.
You're being coachable, and it's it goes back, and it's maybe your military background, I don't know, but it's I'm in it for the ride. Tell me when, and I'm there, right? That's almost every time we've talked. That's the answer I get. Just tell me, coach. And I like that about you. Your ego doesn't get in the way, not all the time.
Sometimes I try to hide it a little bit.
You try to hide it, but I see it, So you went, and I remember that tournament, and I remember leading up to that tournament thinking, I'm going to see who this guy is from this tournament. So that's one thing as a coach that I decide to do, is when I see guys like you, is I assess it by your competition. I obviously assess it in training, right? But I assess it in your competition. Either A, how you win, if you do win, how you win, not that necessarily you got to not that I want you to get a gold medal. Yeah. I don't care about that. It's if you win, how you win. In the match, what happened? Or if you're losing, how do you react? In the match, how do you react when it starts going the other way? Because a lot of guys quit.
Yeah.
Men think they're tough until they're put in a bad position.
Yeah.
And so I assess, that's one of the biggest ways I assess a man in jiu-jitsu, and I assess a competitor, is when you start getting smashed, what do? Do you fold, or do you start trying to find a way to succeed? Does your willpower get stronger in that bad position? You know, and if it gets stronger, then it says a lot about you. And if you lose, how do you act after you're lost? Now, I understand right away you're emotional, and it's not like you're emotional. Oh, I'm crying, blah blah blah. Like, don't talk to me no more. You know what I'm saying? It's emotional in the way that, as men and as guys that are in combat, we want to win. That's inside of us, especially when it's natural. Especially when we train and have the mindset to win. Okay, because when we train, we're training to be the sharpest sword in the arena. That's why we train. I tell my guys every time we compete, and I've told you this at nationals. I tell the guys that I coach in MMA, when it comes to the night of fighting, to the night of competition, the day of competition, you're the sharpest sword in the building. And you have the ability to beat every single one in the building. That's what we train for. We train to be the last person standing in the room. You know? So when you have that mentality, of course you're going to be emotional when another man beats you. Ego's involved. You know what I'm saying? And just as long as it's controlled ego, it's fine. If you have no ego at all, I feel like you have no dignity.
Here's the funny thing, right? My first competition, I don't think I felt any way towards the other guy. I felt more of like, dang, I let myself down. I didn't like give it all, even though I was like exhausted. Like like Josh said, I was like pure white, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm Asian, you know. So
I remember you were like Casper and your lips were purple.
dude, when I told you guys I went to the bathroom, I literally laid down for like 10 minutes, 30 minutes.
I remember.
It was terrible. And then I puked in the bathroom and came back.
Yeah. But what I was getting to is, it's not that it's your ego against that guy. It's not that animosity against that guy. It's the idea of winning the process, winning the hunt, or getting the kill in the hunt, right? The hunt is the most important part. Hunting is the most important part. Why do lions hunt, right? They're satisfied when they chasing, and they finally get the gazelle. You know, so when you're getting ready for a fight or competition, or you're in the works of getting your business set up, the process is the most important part. Is you getting after it. The reward comes after that, but you need to enjoy that process. You know, so after when I said that you were getting emotional, I meant emotional in a way that you let yourself down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when you let yourself down, there's two things that happen. Okay? Two things that happen when you let yourself down. You quit. You tell me you're going to come back and you train harder. Or when your business fails, you tell me you're going to come back and build a stronger business. Or, so you actually come back and do it. Or you leave it alone. You don't go back to it again. So if you leave it alone,
like running away.
It's running away. It's quitting.
Punking out.
It's punking out. Okay? So if you leave it alone, and my respect goes from here to here. Okay? So a lot of people are like, man, Mo, like why? Right? So you got to know me the last year.
Yeah.
You know? So we joked about this on the way here. My mindset is success.
Extreme.
It's either success, or nothing. There's no in between for me. You know what I'm saying? Unless I reach the pinnacle, I have to keep working. And when I reach the pinnacle, I'm going to make another one. And when I reach that one, I'm going to make another one. Until the day I die. That's how I am. And Gio actually has talked to me about this a lot. We've talked about this a lot. So my mindset growing up and working on the streets and relying on myself and going through the pain, going through the misery, forged that in me. So when I see another man, okay, this is for women too, but we'll get into that topic later. But specifically man, because it's a man's duty to take care of his family, is a man's duty to take care of his country.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's his responsibility. So that's why I'm talking about men. Okay? So going through that process made me be less sympathetic for people when I see them quit. Because these days you see these men, I don't know if you call them men, you see these guys crying and doing this and doing that because they don't get what they want.
Yeah.
Because they think they deserve something.
Entitled.
They think they're entitled. Let me tell you something. You don't deserve anything.
Oh, yeah.
You're not entitled to nothing in this world.
Nothing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So my mindset is the way it is because of the last 13, 14 years. So I have no sympathy for you. I'm still going to train with this guy. I'm still going to support this business owner in certain ways. But my support level that was up here comes down to here until they show me that they want it up here with actions and not words.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Okay? So Gio asked me, he said, why don't you stop working as much? I still work 7 days a week. Okay? For the last 12, 13 years, it's been 7 days a week. You know? I don't believe in days off. I said that last time. And he asked me why, and what was the answer?
I just can't stop.
I can't stop. You know? So that's my mindset. And I know what I want for success. I know what I want for my future. Okay? So until I get that and I give my family, I give myself, my family, and the people I love the best life, then I have to keep working.
It's nice that you say that now because my mindset is like slowly gravitating towards yours because before I met you, I'm a Buddhist, right? And we practice like balance, yin yang, right? You can't do too much of something, right? It would tip the scale of balance, and you would live a horrible life. But like I'm just starting now to learn that if you want to be successful, right? You want to achieve a goal, right? You have to tip the scale of balance, no matter how bad it is, no matter how like some part of your life turn bad, right? You have to tip that scale of balance just to achieve that level, and that's what I'm like understanding when I went through bodybuilding, right? Bodybuilding, when you're on that diet and you're eating like sub 1900 calories per day, and you still have to do cardio and then working out on top of that, right? You have to achieve this physique at a certain level that you can be able to compete with other people, you know, especially people who's on gear too, right? So I have the handicap too, you know, so just saying. But yeah, for like, so that's what I'm like slowly learning, and I it's kind of, it's hard for me because I have no one to like keep me accountable, and right, and then you're like the only person that in my life right now that hold me accountable, especially in jiu-jitsu, you know. So,
100%, you know. But in today's world, you know, when everybody's talking about work-life balance and you got to balance things out, people talking about the 4-hour work week, you know, and always trying to find shortcuts, you know. And I was stuck in this mindset for a while, right? Like, how can I think a lot of people get stuck in the mindset of, let me work smarter, but not harder, because they're trying to avoid the hard work. And I think for a lot of people, it's hard to accept, I got to work harder and smarter. But how can you get people to subscribe that 40 hours a week is not going to cut it? Like, barely doing it, you know, working only 5 days a week, 4 days a week, and thinking that's enough to get them past the finish line or even close to the finish line. You know, how do you get people that mindset switch? You know, because a lot of people hear 7 days a week, never stopping. Like, I'm never going to have time for anything. My whole life is going to be work. My whole life is going to be revolved around my success and my future, you know? So how do you make that mindset switch, you know? Because everybody wants to just do the 40, right, but live like they're working 80.
Right. So it goes back to the balance. Okay. So, and this is a mindset that a lot of people are going to probably call me out on. Okay. Especially in 2023. Right.
He's a toxic male.
So And we're talking about this mindset and the aspect, and this mindset translates across the board. Mm-hmm. Okay, doesn't matter what it is. Okay, I don't have a family yet, but when I have a family one day, God willing, I'm gonna be giving them everything I have. There's not gonna be a balance. Okay, and some people are gonna disagree, and it's fine. Hey, I need to find some time for myself, which is true. And I need to find time for my family. Business, I need to find time for myself, and I need to find time for my business and my family, and I need to take care of my job, and I want to have fun with my friends. I want to go out and do this, and I want to go out and do that. But you're not happy with your life when there's balance, okay? So how do you make the mindset shift, in my opinion, is you cancel that mindset of easy. You cancel the mindset of balance, because everything that's been happening the last few years has been being talked about is being toxic, having a toxic mindset, working 7 days a week, working 100, 120 hours a week, and going in as hard as you can on your dreams and your goals, and not having a balance in life and having fun and having a balance in achieving your goals. That's not the right mindset. That's what they teach you these days. And you see it across the board. So how, if you want to change somebody's mindset, it's not going to be an easy switch, because they're already stuck on the hamster wheel of life. Okay? So the hamster wheel of life is going through the motions. That's why nobody achieves your goals. They're going through the motions. They're doing just enough. Okay? So that's the problem. And I learned, and that's why I said I have no sympathy for these people, because I went through the process, and that process sucked, and it was hard. You know what I'm saying? I remember the exact spot that we talked about this on our run. The exact spot when we talked about tilting the scale. Yeah. The balance. Okay? I remember the exact spot. If you want to succeed, guys, if you want to succeed at the highest level and you truly want to achieve your goals, be a successful entrepreneur, be the best husband, be the best wife, be the best dad, be the best CEO, CFO, be the best in whatever you want to put on that title, you have to tilt the scale. You have to tilt the scale. But there's one thing that you have to understand. It's not going to be easy. And it's going to cost you to lose your friends. Not your friends. It's going to cost you to lose people around you that shouldn't be around you anyway. It's going to cause you to have a rough time in your family because you're not there all the time. But if you can communicate and you can visualize together and you can remind each other that the life on the other side is going to be the best thing that we have. I just need to go through this. Because if you don't, just like every average American, they work until the retirement age and then they die. And what do they have to their name? What do they have to leave to their wife or their kids or their grandkids? What is left after that when you just live the normal life? Usually you don't have much to leave after that. But if you tilt the scale, and you live at the highest level and have the highest standards, then you will leave something, God forbid if something happens to you, to your family is secure. You know what I'm saying? You leave something to your community. You leave something for your country. You leave something for your grandkids. You know what I'm saying? You leave a legacy. And we don't want the legacy because I want somebody to say, Muhammad Amu did this. I don't care for that. I just want to know that my time on the face of this earth was for a good cause, was for a good reason. I did my job, Sometimes, I talk about with my friends, like some people would ask me, are you afraid to die? That's a tough question, all right? Because I'm of the believer that the day that I'm going to die was written for me before I was born. So I can't think about that. If it was written for me that I'm going to die October 13, 2023, there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. But I do fear dying before I can leave a mark, before I can do something big and leave something that's going to stay for hundreds and thousands of years, that's going to help the community and help the country. Okay? And so if you want that, okay, and you really truly want to help people, you have to tilt the scale. You want to be the best husband, you have to tilt the scale. You want to be a national champion, you have to tilt the scale. You can't work 40 hours a week these days. If you work 40 hours a week these days, you're barely surviving. You're barely surviving if you work 40 hours a week. Talk to everybody that works 40 hours a week. Unless they own a business, a successful business, they can put 20 hours. They can put 10 hours after they built it up, you know? But even then, those guys that went through the process and built it up, they still work 70, 80, 90 hours a week because they know that at any time something can go wrong and they can lose it all. And outside of that, their standard is so high that they don't allow themselves to take a break. And that's the problem with my mindset. When you ask me why I don't stop, it's because I can't. I don't know how to stop right now.
I mean, is it worth it for you? So my question for you, like, you can't stop, but is it worth it for you to like missing all those family time, you know, and then like relationship, whatever that you have with people, you know, because you can't stop working? It's like,
it's a good question.
because because I like how you brought it up, because you're just like my oldest brother. He spent like over a decade just working, and he missed a lot of time in my life, his kid's life, and he would tell us that, hey, it's that he kind of regret missing his son's life, the first like couple years of his life. He wished that he could have like been there for him because he was like working, you know. So it's definitely take sacrifice, right, to reach at a certain level of success that you want. But at what point do you think it would be like for you to like find that balance again? You know?
That's a very good question. And I was talking to somebody today. She trains jiu-jitsu. Her name is Kayla. And that was one thing that we talked about, right, is how do you keep going? And I told her that if you have what you want, then it's easy to keep going, right? When you have the goal, whatever that goal is, if your goal is to have a ranch in Montana, okay, and you picture it every single day.
Yellowstone style.
Yellowstone. You can get up, if you truly believe it, you can get up every single day and work toward that goal. No problem, okay? What is the goal? So you said, what is that question again? When do I stop?
Yeah.
So the last few years, I've been asking myself that question. When do I stop? For me, I want a healthy family, you know? For me, I want certain things. I have a list. I've been writing this list for the last 8 to 10 years. Every morning and every evening. Every morning when I wake up and every time before I go to bed. When I achieve this list, which is almost impossible, then I'll stop. But when I'll be happy, I'll answer that question a little bit easier. Is
when you hit the Powerball.
You know, I know that one day I'm going to have a family, God willing. You know, I'm going to have a family. And when I know that I have everything that I need to take care of my family, then I'm going to take off the gas just a little bit, because I want to spend time with my kids one day. And that's something else that I do, is I talk about something that like I already have it. I don't have kids. I don't have a family right now. And besides my brothers and sisters and my parents. But I talk as if I already do, because that makes your mind process to work to achieve it at the highest level.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I can set up my life to have everything set up for my family, now don't get me wrong, my kids are going to work. My kids are going to work the way I worked. I'm not going to be easy on them, you know? But when I know that I can give my family everything they want, plus more, then I'm going to take off the gas. When I know that I've helped the orphans around the world, when I help the hungry people around the world, you know, when I help anybody that's struggling around the world and I'm able to keep it up, then I'll take off the gas. But to your question is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. You know, there's so many dreams. Like you said, you lost your family time, you sacrificed. The last 13 years have been extremely tough. Extremely tough, you know? And because of that, and because of my jiu-jitsu, and because of now I lift 5 times a week, because of you, I hate lifting. But I do it because it calluses my mind. It makes my mind extremely strong. It makes my body extremely hard, which keeps me going, which keeps me working. And I understand, you know, like I said, the last 13 years, I've lost a lot of people, not death-wise, just I thought they were my friends. But they weren't my friends. In the process of success, you lose a lot of people around you because they're envious, because they can't keep up, or because you don't want to keep carrying them up. You know? Did I miss time with my family? 1,000% I did. Did I miss birthday parties? Did I miss weddings? Did I miss hanging out with people? 1,000% I did. You know? So did I miss things that I wanted for myself, certain goals that probably that ship has sailed? Maybe. With my mindset, I still think there's an opportunity. That ship has sailed for some of my goals. I probably missed it. Yeah, I understand that. But somebody has to do it. And if nobody in your family or your bloodline has done it, then you need to be the one to do it. That's my belief. You're the one in the family that needs to change and rewrite history for the next generations to come.
100%. And this reminds me of a quote. When you live the tilted scale lifestyle, it's you can't live forever. But the goal is to create something that will live forever.
100%.
You know? And there's this beautiful example. When you live the life of the tilted scale, the extreme life, not the balanced life. The balanced life gets you a holiday at the beach. The extreme life, you own the beach, you know? And so that's the biggest difference. Yeah. But a lot of people are not willing to go through that. Yeah. Make it easy. Have it easy. Hey, I'm going to enjoy my time at the beach, you know? Shake some sand off of my shorts. Yeah. But
I mean, that's the thing. How can you, what's your advice to young kids or young people to have that determination or that commitment, you know?
So the biggest advice that I have for that is the power of one more, Ed Milet, okay? And there was a point early on in my life when I had to do that. I had to get up. I had to do it one day at a time because it was so rough working. It was so hard to get up and go to work the next day. Because think about it. I was 16, 17, okay, when I really started working hard and kind of on my own. I was 16 or 17, okay. I hung out with a couple of people, but I don't partake in. And if you do, I'm not judging you, okay, guys? So I don't want to hear nobody's crap about this. I don't partake in drugs. I don't partake in alcohol. I don't partake in parties. I don't partake in, anything around that topic. So if you want to say, I lived a boring life. Okay, I didn't partake in that. So me knowing that at a young age, and then me being the guy at 17, 16, and the guys that were around me, like, why are you working the way you're working? But I found out early on that I needed to be that guy. And I found out early on that I didn't want to work for anybody. And my dad put that in my mind. And I appreciate my dad for that. And so when he ingrained that in my mind, I started realizing more and more that I don't want to work for anybody, because if I worked a normal job, I'm going to have a normal life. And I don't want a normal life for myself. I don't want a normal life for my brothers and sisters and my parents. I don't want a normal life for my wife and kids. And I don't want a normal life for the people at my gym. Okay? And so when I realized that, and all these guys, and you told me you sacrificed friends and time, all these guys, I remember, they would go out and eat. It was just eating. It wasn't even, these guys didn't even party. And they bought nice clothes and nice shoes. And they drove in cars. And until today, I don't drive the nicest car. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of reasons for that.
Keep yourself humble.
I keep it real with myself, you know. And they would ask me like, bro, just have fun. They'll tell me. I vividly remember this. Just have fun. Do your thing. Be a teenager. That's what they used to tell me. Everybody.
Well, it's important. I'm in this course right now in college that teach about how self-reward can like bring you far in your progress. So I think it's necessary for you to like give yourself a little reward, right? It's just to help you with your mental, you know.
So I'm gonna hit that. Actually, I'm gonna hit that, but you have to have the capabilities to do it.
I mean, your self-reward can be like a mental congratulation, a pat on the back, or take yourself out to eat for dinner, you know, or like go to McDonald's, you know, order your favorite meal, whatever.
I mean, when back then, I had it was a dollar menu. It was like it wasn't nothing.
One McChicken, please.
I mean, honestly, it was 2 hot spices and 2 McDoubles.
Your chocolate cake. How about that?
You know, so listen, I'm gonna get to that, and so I didn't have the capabilities. Okay, and so every day I had to deal with that. Okay, and I had to fight that, and sometimes I did give myself the pat on the back, but back then it was one thing. It was success or nothing. There was no good job. There was no, hey, I'm proud of you. No, you didn't do nothing, buddy.
Yep.
You work 6 days a week. You work 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday. Okay, stay up at night and study. Okay? You didn't get up on time. We'll get up on time next time. You missed the sale. Well, do it next time. That's my mindset. Okay, so how do you get to that level of high achiever, right? It's the power of one more. So back then it was, and I didn't know it. It was so miserable for me that I had to convince myself to get up the next day and go to do it one more time. And I only thought about that day. And the reward that I gave myself was thinking about my future. Because when I think about my future, it's almost like I'm living in it. My imagination started getting so strong that when I thought about, I'm going to have a gym. And when I line up, when we're in the gym, we're on the mats, there's going to be 30 black belts in the front, and there's going to be 100 students on the other side. And I would feel it. I would imagine myself as a black belt. I would imagine myself leading the class. I would imagine myself coaching my kid. I would imagine myself teaching and training my kid at home. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine myself living on a ranch. I would imagine myself hunting. And it came to life to me. And I'm feeling good right now thinking about it because I'm feeling it already. You know? I did that every single day when I was sitting outside on the street. I would imagine it from 8 in the morning to 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. That's all I would imagine. Customer comes, I would help him. But I would imagine my dreams. One specific spot. And I'm going to have Somali on here one day. My friend Somali, I talked about him last time. And you can ask him, what did I talk about every day? I talked about having a gym. I talked about having a farm. I talked about hunting. I talked about having cows and horses and sheep and chickens and getting the eggs and having my kids running around the farm and riding the horses and hunting deer and hunting turkeys and hunting this and hunting that. And I did that every single day with him. It was the same topic. He got sick of it. Every single day on the way there, while we're sitting there, on the way back, same exact thing every single day. Specific spot, Bolivar, Tennessee. I take 57, I pass Piperton, I pass Moscow, I pass Rossville, I pass Grand Junction, I go through Fayette County, I go through Hardeman County, and I go to Bolivar, Tennessee. Bolivar, Tennessee, a lot of hunters are out there. But on the way there, on this 2-lane road, it's all farms. And until today, I still drive down that road and look at the farms because one day I'm going to have that farm. Every single day, the same conversation I went through there, look at that farm, look at those cows. It's the same farm, it's the same cows, it's the same everything. But every day I saw it, I would light up because I wanted it so bad. And when I sat out there on the street next to the Burger King, outside the gas station, the Exxon gas station, in hunting season, I would see 50 to 100 deer pass me every day, hunters that have killed these deer. They'll put them on the back of their trucks or the back of their four-wheelers. And I was like, look at that, man. And it would be the whole day, look at that deer, look at that deer, look at that deer. And the whole time I keep telling them, we're going to have this. We are going to have this. And that motivated me to get up the next day and go to work. Was it hard? Yes. But I had to paint the imagination in my head every single day of what I wanted. And I had to do it. I couldn't lie to myself. So doing it and not lying to yourself is the biggest tip that I can tell somebody. Is you need to get up every single day and do something that's hard. For me, like you said earlier, lifting weights, I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it. Like it's one of the worst things that I just hate it, completely hate it. But I don't skip a workout. I refuse to skip a workout these days because I know it's making me 1% stronger every single day. I hate running, but I go on those runs because I hate it, but it makes me stronger. And that's going to get me 1% closer to my goals.
There's a story that I want to share with you guys. Back in the military, I think it's like towards my my EAS, which is me getting out, right? Mm-hmm. And like everybody was pretty chunky now. Like once you become a senior, right, you really don't do much anymore, right? You get to be lazy a little bit. So my LT started running with us. And we would go on this long run, man. He would piss me off so much how tall he is, and he just loved running. So we went on this running, right, as a platoon, and this guy, right, we call him, he was a shitbag, you know. Those people were, like, not really, you know, physically fit. So he was just complaining in the background. And I turned around, right, and I was like, he said to everyone, it's like, I hate running so much. I turned around and looked at him, and I was like, you don't have to be bad at it. You know,
you told me this.
Yeah. So like, and then my LT looked at me and he started laughing. He was like, "That was a good comeback." And then that's it in my brain like throughout my whole life now, right? Even though I don't like doing something, right? Even like for example, working out, running, I hate doing that, but it makes you better as a person, right? It pushes you mentally and physically, right? And that's why. And when the things that you don't like doing typically is good for you at the end of the day.
Yep, 1,000%. And the other thing, going back to that question is not doing what you like, right?
Yeah.
Doing the things that you don't like. That's also one of the biggest tips that I want to give. Okay, is like I said, working out, doing things that you don't like. Okay, and these days, we got a lot of fat slobs, okay? Because it's easier to sit on the couch and eat Cheetos, all right? So nobody wants to work out. Nobody wants to go for a 30-minute walk because life is so easy right now. But those are the same guys crying and complaining that I don't got this car. I don't got this house. I'm working 40 hours a week. I barely see my family. Bro, if you work 40 hours a week, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Try working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and tell me how you feel. You know, but my biggest tip to these young guys is get away from the people that you think they're your friends.
Yeah.
And you realize that they're not your friends when you start becoming successful, or the process of being successful is long, but when you try to get on that journey of becoming successful, because you quit drinking alcohol, you quit smoking this, you quit doing drugs, you quit staying up late, you quit going to the club, you quit going to the bar. When you start these small things, stopping doing those small things, then the doors start opening up. Whatever your vice is, you have to leave it, okay? Whatever the sheep do, the followers do, okay, which is going to the club, hanging out, doing this, doing not something that's not necessarily productive. When you start leaving that, then you can start going through the journey of success. And the doors will start opening up for you. And do not care what those people say. I have probably easily, I can, just 5 guys I'm thinking of right now in my head, just talking about this topic. When I told you I was 16 and 17 and these guys were like, hey, come hang out with us, quit working as much as you do.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys. Because I used to tell him, I looked at him like a brother. Even back then and today, we still talk. I look at him like a little brother to me. He's bigger than me, but I look at him like a little brother. I always told him, I said, look, man, because the biggest thing is people try to impress each other.
Yeah.
They
Keep
look
it up with the Jones.
Exactly. They look for validation.
Yep.
That's why I drive the car I do. That's why I wear the clothes I do. Because I try to tell myself and train myself that I don't need nobody's validation.
Yep.
Okay? And I told this guy, he had a nice car. He had nice clothes. He spent money on nice dinners. And back then I would tell him, I said, look, man. And like I said, I always thought ahead of time. I said, look, man, if you save your money on these clothes and you can just wear some regular jeans. I have some $20 jeans on right now. Okay? I have a $20 shirt on right now. If you can save your money on your clothes instead of impressing people, save your money on these dinners instead of hanging out with these clowns, if you save your money on you're 16 years old and you try to drive this nice car just to drive it, okay? If you save that money, you can set your life up. Okay, you sacrifice now, but you live in paradise later. And you get to give yourself the life that you want and your family the life they want. Okay? So the problem with that is validation. People want to impress each other. So if you can leave that at a young age, then that will catapult you to success. The same guy, I promise to God, the same guy a few months ago told me everything that you told me. And this was 10 years ago? No, this was 7, 8 years ago.
From when you told him this?
From when I told him this. Mm-hmm. He came to me by himself. I should have listened to you. By himself. When I tell you the hairs on my body stood up, and I'm a hairy guy. Every single hair stood up on my body. The hairs on my body stood up, and I had chills crawling up my back. He said, everything that you said makes sense now. And I wish that I listened to you 7, 8 years ago because my life would be completely different. And I had nothing to account for. Nothing.
Yeah. So, I've talked to people like that, right? And I share them like that. Like, I'll save money and things. And I try not to be so frugal. That's the right word?
Yeah, I think so.
We do jiu-jitsu, guys. We're not teachers. So you hear all the time people are like,
we're not good with the big words. Yeah, I mean, we just keep it simple for our viewers. That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep it simple. And so people be like, man, I worked the whole week. I worked so hard. Why am I not going to reward myself? What if I die tomorrow? You mean tell me I'm going to die tomorrow with some raggedy clothes? Mm-hmm. I'm going to die tomorrow living in this place to save myself some money? Mm-hmm. You hear that all the time where it's really an instant gratification mindset.
Yeah.
But what do you got to say to those people? Like, why should I sacrifice all that when I could just die tomorrow? When you never know what can happen. Like, what's the point? Nothing's guaranteed to me, so why even do it?
Yeah. So that's a tough topic. Okay, it's a tough thing because when you talk about, and this is where you're trying to poke the bear right now because you want me to get started on these guys, right? These guys, they do it, and this is the truth. Some people are like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. These guys do it to impress people. They don't do it because they truly want that for themselves. Okay? These guys want validation because their confidence is not there. Their ego is humongous. Mm-hmm. And these guys, their mind is so small and their confidence is so small that they need things to make them men. They need to do things and say things to make them men. Which is, these young guys, they need nice cars. Okay? I see 16-year-olds I drive a 2007 Honda Civic, guys, that's hit from the side.
Everywhere.
Everywhere, okay? But I see 16-year-olds, and some people are like, Mo, you're hating on them. No, I'm not. You know, like, I know what car I want, and I have a set goal for it. I told you, Gio, about this. But I see 16-year-olds that are living off of mommy and daddy's money, okay, driving a $100,000 car these days. That kid is going to grow up to be a weak man. He's going to be weak. I promise you that kid's going to be weak. He didn't go through the hard. It was given to him. And that guy inside is going to be weak. Because when you work hard with your hands, you get strong. You get hard. Your sword is sharp. So you don't need validations from anybody. You don't need approval from anybody. But these guys, these days, they buy the nice truck, they buy the nice car, they wear the nice shoes, they wear the nice watches. I like watches these days. I wear a G-Shock, I wear a basic watch. I'm not wearing a Rolex. I'm not wearing an Omega. I'm not wearing these nice things, okay? But they do this stuff, and they go to the restaurant. They spend $300, $400, $500 on food, okay, at this 5-star restaurant because they're trying to impress the girls. They're trying to get the girls. They're trying to impress their buddies. You know what I'm saying? Why are they doing that? Because they have no confidence. They need the approval. And the way of them getting approval is by flaunting money. But this guy, doesn't matter how much he flaunts, since he's attached to materialistic things, he's never going to find, in my opinion, true happiness. Because true happiness comes when you don't need validation from nobody. When you don't need things to show people that, hey, look what I can do. Look, I'm a successful business owner. Look what I drive. Look what this. Now, there's a point where this needs to happen. For me, I have a set goal. Some people are like, Mo, why don't you go? I have my buddies also always tell me, go buy a truck. I'm not there yet. That's me. I need to get my priorities in order first. The truck is gonna come. Mm-hmm. My dream car, guys, is a matte black G-Wagon, S63 AMG.
He would say Matt. Matt
you know, matte black. I have a toy car, just to show you something. I have a toy car that I keep on my desk, and I look at it every single day. Okay, but I set a goal for this car. I'm not gonna just go buy it and say, hey guys, I made it. I need to achieve a goal first. Now, the guys that you're talking about, like I said, it's validation. These guys are the crybabies. Not all of them. Some of them truly worked hard for it and they earned it, and I give you all my respect. But for the other ones that are wasting their family time or wasting their family money, instead of taking care of the wife, the kids, the family, and going and spending it on this, then you're a POS.
That's a big thing, you know, especially hit. Because I remember when I was in high school, all these other guys, 16, 17, 18, they were driving the Chargers, Challengers, all these nice cars, right? Mercedes, BMW. And I had to work some summer jobs, and I was able to collect a couple money for a down payment, you know, back before all the inflation. And I remember we went into a dealer, and my mom, even though it was my money, she picked out a Honda Civic, you know? And me comparing myself to what everybody else had, you know, they had all these nice luxurious cars, you know, right out the lot, brand new. I had a used car. And I get a Honda Civic, you know. I felt so insecure about that. And I was like, oh my God, they gonna check me, they gonna roast me.
Validation.
You know? Exactly, right? I was thinking about how much people were gonna judge me. How, like, my worth was coming from a Honda Civic. Mm-hmm. It's a car. At the end of the day, it does the same thing. It gets you from point A to point B, right? But looking back at it, I thank my mom that she got me the car because I wanted to get a Challenger. You know, I was 16. I would have probably crashed in, wrapped it up in a pole somewhere.
Or get stolen.
or get stolen in Memphis.
Memphis, man.
But how much damage, like, does rewarding your kids something big like that, something that takes so much sacrifice, and just giving it to them, how much damage does that do to your child, to the youth?
I think it does a lot, man, because when you're giving things, you don't truly understand the worth of it. You don't truly understand the value. when you're given something. Okay? If you tell this kid, and one day with my kids, when they want something, like I told you, I'm not gonna be easy on my kids. When they want something, okay, you're gonna have to read. I saw this Patrick Bet David, and I'm gonna do it myself. You're gonna have to read 5 books to get this. You're gonna have to come to work with dad. You're gonna have to coach kids class. You're gonna have to work the weekend. That's how I'm gonna do it. Okay? But when you give them something, okay? Now it's different if it's a gift or whatnot. And you have to, also when it's a gift, like some people, like I give a gift and it's a $150,000 car, like it's a 16-year-old kid. That kid doesn't know the value, the true worth of that gift. Forget the car, the gift itself, right? The idea that mom or dad gave it to him. He doesn't know what it took mom and dad to do to get that. That kid needs to feel the process. Everything is about the process. I don't care about, I don't only, like, of course the end result means a lot. I don't think about the end result. Of course I get happy thinking about it. But these days I learned that the process, the journey, this thing excites me. Getting up every day and grinding and getting after it. This is the most important part. Because when I do get that G-Wagon, S63 AMG matte black, it's going to feel so good. And I told you, I said, when I get it, we're going to dinner. You know?
Dinner on you too?
It's on me. You know what I'm saying? It's because I went through the whole thing. So now when I get it, that's a true reward. And I know what it took to get it. So the worth of that, the value of that is going to mean so much more to me than if somebody gives it to me. So when you do this to a 16-year-old kid in 2023, okay, in 2023, you're doing more damage than you can imagine. Oh, but I got the money. I want to take care of my kids. Okay, what about in 10 years when your kid has a wife and kids or has responsibilities and times get tough and that kid folds?
Yeah.
Because he will. Because he never was tested before. He never had to go through the process. He never had to use his mindset or rely on his mindset. His mindset, his swords are weak. Okay? He didn't do nothing to harden and sharpen those swords for the last 10 years because everything was given to him. So when a problem arises, whether it's in business, okay, in relationships, when the problem arises, these guys quit. When times get tough, these guys get quit. When you see, and I was talking to a successful business owner the other day, I'm not going to say the name or anything, but we were talking about the same topic that we're talking about now, we were talking about in person. And we both agreed on this. The guys that you see that were given the business, the family business, because we didn't come, my dad was an immigrant. We didn't come and land in the USA with the business ready to go. My dad had to build it up from scratch. We had to build it up from scratch. Okay, so the business is so valuable to us. Okay, we put in so much work. So it's going to be harder for us to lose it. But the guys that inherit a business or inherit land, okay, when they inherit it, look to see how long do they have it until they lose it. A lot of these businesses that these guys inherit, they lose them. Because they didn't start from the scratch. They didn't go through the process and the grueling 100, 150 hours a week working this business to get it up on its feet. They didn't work this piece of land that the great-grandpa worked on and farmed in. And it was the family land that you had pride and dignity in. And you had a sense of ownership in that land. Okay? When the new generation takes it, they sell it, the land. They sell the business. You know? We, in our culture, and here in the South too, so I'm Palestinian, but Palestinian culture and Southern culture, you don't sell the family land. You know, at least here in the South, the old school mentality was you don't sell the family land.
Yeah.
You keep the farm. Us, until today, we believe in that. We keep the farm. And for me, you're going to have to kill me before you take my land, before I sell my land. That's my belief, okay? And that's even if I inherited it from my grandpa. I will not sell it because that was my grandpa's land. He worked that land. He walked that land. Okay, I know what it took for my grandpa to do it. But these kids that were given things don't know that. For them, it's a paycheck. That's all it is for them. So that's why you don't give kids everything they want. You need to make them work for it. You know, when I was growing up, and this is as times change, this is what happens. You know, my little brother Momo, he's 13 years old. God protect him. I'm hard on him. I'm not easy on him. You know, I want him to be as sharp as possible. I teach him about business. I make him work at the gym. I make him, do things around the farm. I make him do things around the house. And my mom's always telling me, hey, just let him be. He's the youngest one. That's why. Let him be. No, ma'am. I respect you. I respect everything you say. But he needs to go through the process. Because in 10 years, it's going to be tough. But if he goes through the process, he's going to be ready for that. So he mows the lawn. I had to mow the lawn. I didn't have a choice. We didn't hire somebody to go mow the lawn. I was out there every week. 8 years old, I remember. I remember the same house, same street, everything. I was out there 8 years old mowing the lawn. So why did this change? Because times get easier.
Yep.
So when times get easier, you're easier on your kids. But back then, the whole family ran the farm. The whole family plowed and tilled and picked the vegetables and picked the garden, tended to the cows, went hunting, So the value, guys, is not what you have. And that's something that people are changing these days. People think it's materialistic things that determine the value. But guess what? When you die, none of that goes with you. Mm-hmm. None of it goes with you. When you die, it's what you did to serve people. What good you put into this world. That's the most important thing. That's the number one thing. And these kids, these young guys in 2023 and all the way the world is going these days, they make you think. You can put they as whoever you want. They make you think that your value and your worth is in what you have. The value of a man is what's in here. The value of a man is in his actions. Okay? The value of a woman is in her actions. Okay? The man, how he may not have a nice car. He may not dress up nice. Not saying he doesn't have the ability to do so. Right? But he's a strong man. He takes care of his family. He takes care of his community. He looks after kids. He looks after women. He loves his country. That's a strong, valuable man. Not the guy that's flaunting and wearing nice clothes and driving nice cars and doesn't do any of that. He's a POS to his family, doesn't take care of his wife and kids. He's cheating on her. He's hanging out with girls. He's doing all this stuff, and he thinks he's a man. No, you're a little boy. That's what you are. And same thing to the other side. The women that's out there, chit-chatting it up. She's married. She got a boyfriend, chit-chatting it up with all these guys and flirting and giggling at everything and showing everything, and posting all these crazy things online. And don't get me started about this. I know I'll get some people chew me out on this, but that's the valuable woman. The woman that looks after herself, that respects herself, that has dignity, that takes care of the husband, takes care of the house, takes care of the kids. We've lost that here in 2023. And it's because of everything that we're talking about. The materialistic things, the mindset. So if we teach everybody or we start telling everybody every day to get up and do something hard and take it one day at a time or do one more rep, go to work and do one more phone call. Make one more email. Talk to one more client. Work one more hour. Spend an extra hour with my kids. Spend an extra hour with my wife. Spend an extra hour, with my loved ones. I told you who's my friends. I don't have any. Just a few. You know which ones they are.
Yeah, brothers.
I have brothers. You know what I'm saying? Spend a little extra time with them. Because that's going to build my relationship and your relationship. That's going to build my business. That's going to make me a stronger man. That's going to make me a stronger man for my family, my friends, my business. Okay? That's going to change the world. And that's going to give these guys the mindset that they need to tilt the scale.
100%. You know, and while you were mentioning all that, the word that kept popping in my mind was sacrifice. Sacrifice, sacrifice, sacrifice. I think all the kids, they don't value like they get a new Audi, they get a new Benz, or whatever. Something very luxurious, right? Something that's given to you. I think that people don't value because they didn't go through the sacrifice, you know? So, Ben, like in your journey of jiu-jitsu and how you dove right into it, and how much would you say that sacrifice plays into your success, into your journey? You know, because I think a lot of people, they want to live, like keep their same lifestyle and reach their goals. So like when you were doing your bodybuilding, when you were in your path towards nationals, how much did you have to sacrifice, and how important is sacrifice when it comes to reaching your goals?
That's a good question, Gio. Oh, man.
Let me interrupt real quick. So Gio did, we mentioned it earlier, but the whole mindset and journey thing is leading up for Ben to talk about his journey to becoming a national champ. So I need to make sure that we clarify. Ben won an Ibjjf national championship, and the process and the journey, and the sacrifices is how he got to the Ibjjf national champion.
Oh, man, where do I start? I mean, I guess it all started in my first competition, really, right? I got brutally beaten, right? Like, I never want to feel like that ever again. You know, not only that it humbled me, but it also showed me that if in life, like, if I was something gonna happen, like, I'm not gonna be able to, like, hold myself up there. So my first competition taught me a lot, you know? So I had to, like, stop playing games, right? That's the thing that I had to talk about. We're not gonna talk about that. That's another episode. But I had to stop playing games, right? That's one of my hobbies that I truly enjoyed, right? And then, like, staying up late, and then, like, my bad eating habits, right? And then after my first competition, everything started going uphill for me, right? I won gold in IBJJF Memphis, right? And every local tournament, I won gold, first place, every single one of them, right? After my first tournament, especially in AGF, I was in like 4 different divisions. That was brutal, right? Like, and I thank you for that, right? I wouldn't be able to win 4 golds in 4 different divisions if it wasn't for you, for holding me accountable and telling me that it's not enough, right? Like, I was, like, my thought process doing that, the whole thing, like, I had like 9 matches that day. The 5th match in, I was like, okay, I'm settling for 3 golds. I'm done, right? I already gave up, right? Because, like, I still have the absolute division. Those guys are like 10 times bigger than me. You know what I mean?
What is an absolute division?
So absolute division is like all weight class, and, you know, and I was like a medium heavy or a medium.
They're all weight classes, but for some reason, they're the biggest ones. The little guys don't sign up for it. And yeah. I remember that. He had like 2 guys like 300 plus pounds.
It was terrible. And, like, I was like exhausted. I was mentally, physically drained. I was like, I'm done. You know, I was like already telling my mind, okay, let's settle for 3. That's it. 2 or 3. I don't care if I win. I'm going to try to win second in 2 of them. But then when I told Coach Mo that, he gave me this death stare, and I was like, oh, never mind. I'm not going to settle for less. Like, you need to keep coming, keep pushing forward, right? You're not done yet, right? And I remember, what was your goal, right? I think I told you that I wanted to bring.
Not yet.
Not yet? Okay, so he was like, okay, yeah, one more. He was in my ear, and I was like cramping up already, right? And I remember Coach Grant was there, right? And you were just feeding me your coconut water, telling me you got one more. And then that day I took 4 golds home. you know. And then after that, I did New Breed and Nagan, and I won every single one of them as well. And then, uh, and then after I won, like I think, when was it? I think we went to Atlanta. We went to a what's it called?
A seminar?
A seminar, yeah, a seminar. And then I came and we were
Training
driving.
camp.
Yeah, training camp. And it was you, Coach Jason, Gio, Greg, and Coach Border, right? And myself. We were all in the van or SUV. And then I guess you were just talking about the future of the gym and everything. And then the thought came by. It was like, I'm going to bring a world champion to the gym, you know? And then you looked at me, you know, and you're like, yeah, okay. You know, it take works. And then I'm like, well, no, I'm serious. I'm going to do it, you know, because I feel like that's something I want to give back for the gym, right? For giving me so much, especially for you.
You don't owe us anything. You don't owe me anything.
That's something I'm learning. I know that, but that's just my personality, you know, especially if I'm under somebody. And that's translate back to when I was in the military. When I was under my squad leader, team leader, I will always make them look good, you know. And if I made a mistake, I will always hold myself accountable, right? So during that trip, I told Coach Mo, hey, I'm gonna bring a world champion home. And I kind of wish I take it back, because God, this man is not letting me take my feet off the gas pedal, man. But I don't regret it. I don't regret putting that goal in my book, right? So after that seminar, something like terrible happened. So I'm currently dating someone, and then her mom passed away during that time.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's fine. So her mom passed away, and me and her mom is like pretty close. I see her as a godmother. She's the sweetest person, and she's something that I learned from, is that even though when she was sick, she's still working. She was like stage 6, I don't know, stage 4, the worst cancer, right? And she was still working. She still showed up to my. I didn't know this until my girlfriend told me. She still showed up to my competition when she was like sick, and the next day she went to the ER, right, because she had blood in her lungs. But that day she went to my competition, and I still had a one local tournament when she was still in the hospital, right? And I was like, I want to win this gold medal for you, and which I did. I won a gold medal, and then I brought it to her, you know, and I put it around her neck, because like she's a true champion, right? She's still fighting for her life. So it was mentally hard for me to train, right? Coach Mo had to like keep sending me texts of like, hey, are you gonna come out and train, you know? And I would like set time for it. I think I went like every single day, twice a day up to that point, right? And when she got admitted to the hospital, it was like hard for me to even like train, and then to be consistent, to be committed, and like the thought of me winning worlds is like out of the world now, right? I kind of gave up on that dream or that goal, because I had like focused on my girlfriend to like help her and stuff. And then I already signed up for a Ibjjf Nashville. We had that trip, and man, that trip was like the worst timing ever, right? So it was during the time she was still, so it was literally a week after she passed away, and that week I didn't even think about like training, but I knew that I had to, and it was like mentally exhausting that I had to train and also like deal with like an emotional trauma. So fast forward, I went to Nashville. I was doing really well, surprisingly, right? I think I went to the semifinals. And then I went against this guy named Blake, right? And I lost to him. And it set a bad taste in my mouth because I knew I could have beat him, but my mindset wasn't there. I was distracted by life issue, and it was difficult for me to pick myself up after that. Right? I thought me winning a national or bringing a world title to the gym is like done for. Right? I'm never gonna freaking win, especially after what I just went through. And then here come Coach Mo. Hey, you're gonna sign up for national, right? I'm like, what? Like, am I even ready for that?
Well, at first you told me no.
Yeah, I denied that because
Until some later in the future.
Because I didn't think I was gonna be. I'm ready for that level of competition. You know, I thought I wasn't ready. I knew that I wasn't mentally ready yet. Right, and then I don't know what happened. I think like you were getting ready for something. You were getting ready for a world title. I think nationals, and I made a whole workout training camp for you, and it was slow. It
sucked, but it was good. I loved it.
It was just solely for you, and then like a weekend, it turned out I'm doing it with you. And then you asked me, hey, like knowing that what I've been through, you asked me, do I wanna, do national with you? And I was like scared. I didn't think I was ready.
You denied it every time.
Every time.
You denied it every time.
I think for like a whole couple of weeks, I know. And then I don't know. I guess you were in my ear, and I will be forever grateful for you when you did that, because like you were always in my ear, like picking me up, right? And I didn't see it then, right? Now I do. I could see you like helping me picking myself up together, especially my mental and my heart, because I didn't want to do jiu-jitsu anymore, really, right? I didn't want to go in there train every single day anymore, right? But you staying in my ear, right? Staying in my corner, right? Gave me that.
Don't make me cry.
I'm about to cry myself.
We're gonna have to cut if I start crying.
I don't think I got a cry button.
But like, you, I don't know what clicked. I don't know what you said to me, but you told me that whenever you're ready, you have this tone, right? It's kind of funny, right? I make fun of you all the time. You have this tone that's sarcastic, right? Of like, hey, you don't have to come back, to train if you don't want to, And it was so annoying, but like, it's like you were challenging me. And when you said it made me feel challenged, like you challenged me. And I'm always up for a challenge. And I forget about me being sad and everything. I was like, this man just challenged me. So I was like, okay. So I guess one day, workout, and we had to run up the hill. I remember, right? You said,
exactly what I'm thinking about.
I have a proposal for you. I'm like, all right. So he's like, I'll tell you when we're doing our workout. So after our workout, we talked, and he was like, I want you to do national, I think you're ready. You're right. You give me all this pep talk. I think you're ready. I think you're capable of winning national. Right. And I'm like, and then he was being very persuasive about it. So I was like, okay, why not? Let's give it a shot. It's one thing to let something traumatic in your life happen, like, and then you don't, and you give up. Right, I'm not the type of person that give up. Right,
Feel free to say the whole thing, because we're gonna talk about it.
When that happened, I felt like my world like caved in, really, because she was a person that I really, really admire, right? She was like a second mother to me. You know, my mother showed me love, but I was like a random boyfriend, and she like showed me unconditional love, right? Just because I had the amount of love I give to her daughter, she like returned it to me, and I was just like forever grateful for that. And then like when she had to like battle cancer and then pass away, I was just devastated, right? Like I was currently in school as well, and then like I just felt like my world ended, and I didn't want to do anything else, you know, especially training. And then like you can tell by my training habits that, you know, it decreased in
He pretty
the
much
quality.
quit on me. I'll be honest with you. Like I'm gonna chime in real quick. He quit on me. You know what I'm saying? And I did what I did with him because, like I said, when I see guys that want to work, when I see guys that say they're gonna do something and they work up to it, do it like you did. You won Memphis. You won all you. People think local tournaments are nothing, but you went through these guys. It wasn't like it was a match, and you did 9 matches, open class, 2 open classes. You know, so when I saw this, I saw what your potential can be. You weren't there yet. You still had work because I knew the biggest thing with you, and no disrespect to you, was your mindset. Physically, you're good, but your mindset was not there. You know, and me knowing that it was your mindset, and this is a me problem, is I wanted to fix it. You know, me being a coach for so long, I wanted to fix that because I told myself, when you told me what you told me, and you're the first one to tell me that and really mean it, when you said you're going to bring a title to the gym, I try not to cry when I was driving.
Really?
Yeah, I try not to cry.
But
It may seem silly to you.
So what made me different from everyone who said I want to be an MMA fighter, or like?
Because you came and did the work, and the way you were loyal to me and the way you listened to me. I'm 28. You're 25.
I'm 26.
26. You know, it's not like I'm 40 or 50.
Yeah.
So some guys that are young don't look at me and listen. When I saw that, and then you told me what you're going to do, and then you started training, and you did everything that I asked for, even though sometimes I had to convince you and try to crack into your mindset and build that mindset up, even though it took some work, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And I knew that when, as long as you're with me, when that mindset was in a shift, that nobody can touch you. That was my belief from what I know from coaching people and working for so long, is if I can fix this guy's mindset, whether it's in jiu-jitsu, whether it's him just being another strong warrior walking the face of this earth, whatever it is, this guy is going to be a strong man. He's going to be a warrior with a sharp sword. And that was my goal, especially when I noticed that you had a weak mindset, you know? And that's why I started working even more. You gave me the promise. Like I said, I tried to hold my tears back when you said it because it hit me different. But I was like, okay, I'm going to sacrifice everything on my behalf to make this happen. And go ahead and start from where you started. And I want you to, we want to have the details right, but talk about the agreement, because I'm going to talk about why I did it. The agreement that we made for you to go to nationals.
So one of the agreement that Coach Mo gave me, right, was that he was gonna pay for my trip to national, sorry, right, and then, but I have to do something for him, that I have to volunteer to help coach the kids.
I wouldn't say it's voluntary because it was trade.
I mean,
you're not gonna gas me up and act like I did you a favor. You're doing me a bigger favor.
I mean, and then my thought process, I mean, that's a fair trade, right? But I also didn't think I was like capable or ready to teach kids, you know. So I appreciate that you had that faith in me and giving me that chance to inspire them and help teach kids, because that's one of my goals, is to inspire younger people, you know. So he gave me that, and then I was like, okay, I mean, it's a win-win for me, you know. I get to go to do national and also teach and inspire kids. So that what happened, right? And then we had one more tournament before national, which is St. Louis. And then I think I was already out of the rabbit hole. I was going through a dark hole. I like to call it a box, a dark room, right? It's something when I was struggling in the Marine Corps with myself, that whenever things get tough, I will always lock myself up in that space and, never get out of it. And I was heading towards that hole until I see a hand, a beautiful, strong hand, just
Hairy hand.
very hairy.
Hey.
It reached out to me and then helped me up. So I will always be forever grateful for that. It helped me a lot, more than you know it. You didn't let me step my foot off the gas pedal, right? Even though I wanted to. You basically put your foot there too, on top of mine, really. But we had one more tournament before national, and we were training. We did my workout programs together now, and we got ready. And then I was struggling with the confidence and I had in myself, and that was the big part that happened in St. Louis. And I lost, right? First round knockout. Ever since my first competition. So I was embarrassed, but also the confidence I had in myself was gone, right?
Because you were supposed to fight Blake in St. Louis.
Yep. Because Blake was in there. Blake was there too, and
Blake was on the road, guys. Blake was on the road to nationals before Ben knew he was on the road to nationals, and I saw it, and I got him in both tournaments.
Oh, you did?
I convinced him to go to St. Louis and nationals.
How did I know this dude was on road nationals too?
Because I looked up the brackets. Yeah.
This man was setting me up without me even knowing it.
So he missed that. So he kept talking about Blake on our runs. He was obsessed with Blake, and I like that. I wanted him to be. I like that he was obsessed, but I didn't want him to be obsessed with Blake. I wanted him to be obsessed with the process to win the tournament. And I told him, the guys that you're facing, it's not Blake. What did I tell you, if you remember?
Yeah, it was like a dark figure.
Yeah, I told him it's a dark figure, there's no face.
Yep.
That's who you're facing. You're not facing Blake. You're facing a guy with no face. You can't see the person. So forget about Blake. You're there to win. Because if he attached himself solely to Blake, he would have been beat before he got there. Yeah. But we knew what the end goal was. So Blake was there. Ben lost the first round. You were upset, and you didn't have the confidence.
Yeah. So my confidence was gone. And then we had 1 week left before national. And, like, what can we do? Like, seriously, I lost, and, like, what can I do to, like, better myself in a week, right? But looking back now, like, this just came up in my head. Looking back now, it wasn't the physical aspect of it. It wasn't. I was, like, physically capable already. I was in shape, more shape than I ever thought I would be. But looking back at now, it's the mental aspect of it, right? And I remember this clear as day. Throughout the whole week, the first Monday back from St. Louis, me and him just training together by ourselves, right? We was it Monday, Tuesday, we trained, and throughout those 2 days, I will constantly have confidence in myself, right? Just to be like, hey, you're better than this. You're better than this. You're better than this. And then flying out to Las Vegas, minutes, all right, or hours before my competition, my match, I would say that you got this. They can't touch you. They can't touch you. They can't. They're not on your level. First guy I beat, easy. My confidence went up. Second guy I beat, 32nd. I felt like I was a lion then. I'm unstoppable, right? And then Blake, right? Met him in the final. It couldn't even
This is like a movie, guys.
It was so perfect. It was so perfect how me and him met in the finals again. Right.
At Nationals, guys. One of the biggest tournaments on the face of this earth.
And then when that match happened, I knew in my abilities that I can beat him. And when throughout the whole match, I was winning. And then last 2 minutes, he passed me, right? And he gained 3 points. So it was 3-2. I was losing. Last 30-second, Coach Mo saw me gave up, right? He saw my body went lump, right? Tell them about that.
Keep going.
So he saw, like, he passed me, and I gave up. I did not, my thought process during that moment, I was like, it's over. Like, it's 30 seconds left. He passed me. He's like stronger than me. Like, I cannot do anything anymore, right? And then for some reason, everything went like silent. And then all I heard is little chirp. It gets louder and louder. No, my met, right? No, my met. And then when I heard that phrase, like, I can't explain it, guys. It's like the feeling. It's like I just have energy again, right? You can even watch the video and like you can start seeing me like fighting again.
Bro, you gained 6 points in less than 20 seconds.
What does no my met mean?
So
Can you share that?
Yeah, so I'm Vietnamese, right? So it's a Vietnamese term.
Yeah,
he's saying it wrong.
I'm fluent in Vietnamese.
He's saying it wrong, but I know
Speak a few languages, by the way.
A Renaissance man.
I knew what he meant. So rewind a little bit. When I asked him to be my coach, I asked him, "Hey, I'm not this soft guy. I want to, right? I want to be like aggressive, especially with the military background I have.
I'm a tough guy.
I want to be like, hey, talk crap to me so I can, and I feed off of that. You doubting me, you talking crap to me, it feeds me. It gives me, I don't know, it motivates me to prove you wrong, right? So I told him, hey, start talking crap to me during competition. And he was like, I can't do that. I have to keep it professional and family clean for the gym, right? And I'm like, okay, understandable. He says, tell me something in Vietnamese, right? And I was like, okay, you're tired, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, I asked. I said, how do you say you're tired?
Okay, yeah, I guess whatever. So he asked me how do I say you're tired, and I was like, my man, right? It's basically saying I'm tired with a question mark, right, with the tone. So that's what he's saying, like, I'm tired. So he was saying that at the last 10 seconds of my match. And I heard him. I wrestle up, take him down, score like 6 points in a span of 5 seconds, guys. It's amazing how like the mind works and how powerful it is, right? And then after that, I looked at Coach Mel with the biggest grin on his face. About to die.
I'm about to cry too. Dead serious. I was holding tears back. Dude, I was almost coming over the barricades.
Yeah,
And
there's videos of it.
Like, bam! It's coming over the barricade, and I'm just throwing my fist in the air. Like, I got mauled that day. I got beat. But what Ben did, cross it out. I got mauled by some good brown belts.
Oh, yeah. 10
but,
seconds.
But what Ben did, that was it. My job is not done, but for that goal, that was it.
I just felt like it was just another day in the tournament, really. Another day I competed. I didn't grasp the significance of the tournament. And you were just telling me, dude, you won national. And I'm like, I guess.
Yeah, and that's the mindset that we're talking about. The what do they say, quote unquote, toxic? That's the toxic mindset.
I mean,
What they call it. You ask me, that's a healthy mindset. You know what I'm saying? But what did I tell you? Enjoy it. And we had cake to enjoy it,
Yeah.
you know? But that's the mindset of one more.
yeah.
Because we got done, what's next?
Oh, yeah. After that, my body was like completely collapsed. I couldn't even walk. I couldn't even walk off the mat. But you could see me slapping the mat because I knew that I won. But I don't know. That whole year, this past year, was like quite the journey. I have never experienced this level of test of my mental, you know? And I think I was mentally strong. Like I believe that I am mentally strong than the average person. But for you to like say that I was like mentally weak, it was like a humbling experience where there's always more for growth, right? And I need to have that growth mindset instead of that fixed mindset, you know? Because having a growth mindset, you accept
Abundance mindset.
the opportunity and you don't see your failures as obstacles, but opportunity that you can get better, you know? And then that's what I learned, right? And then thank you for believing in me, really, when I didn't believe in myself, right? I think you knew all along, and I just didn't see it. Really, you're like my third eye, and I couldn't, be more appreciative than that. Really,
Man, it's like you said, this last year, even from my perspective, it's been a crazy journey, you know. But for me, I had a mission as a coach. Okay, I saw you lose, and when you went to Nashville, you lost before you got there.
yeah,
And there was circumstances. There's some circumstances in life that we have no control over. At all, you know. And God rest her soul. You know, I'm sure she's happy for you. She saw it, you know. She saw everything, and I believe you did the thing that's the right thing, because I'm also the believer of, if you decided to quit, and you can relate this to her or you can relate it to anybody, that you failed them.
yeah,
Because, and this is sensitive, but when somebody dies, what do you do? That's one of the toughest things to encounter, and when somebody dies, I think a lot of people quit because emotionally and mentally you're so exhausted, like you said. Yeah. And I think if you quit, then you do a disservice to those people. A lot of people break down, they quit, and then they go down the wrong path sometimes. And I think when you do that, this is my thoughts on this, is you don't really love that person. I think if you really love that person, then you go out there and you chase your dreams even harder. You go out there and you you work harder every single day to make them happy, proud, you know, and in the remembrance of them, you know, and I knew you were beat before then, and so for me it became a mission to show you, like I said, that I believed in you, and I wanted to show you the power of the mind, and I knew that you can beat that guy 1,000%. There was no doubt in my mind. I knew that you can beat that guy. And like I said, my opinion on mindset was weak. Now if you talk about your mindset back then compared to now, what do you think? Was it weak or was it strong?
My mindset back then?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely had some flaws.
You know? No, but just put your ego to the side. Was it weak or was it strong?
Yeah, it was weak.
There we go. You know? And the process, the journey is what got you from the weak mindset to the mindset that you have now.
Yeah.
And your mindset now, a year from now, you're going to look at it and say it was weak.
Oh, yeah.
And a year from then, you're going to say, oh, I thought I was tough then, but it was weak. Because even though you got that much mentally stronger, you could still quit in the last 30 seconds. 30 seconds. If you kept fighting, okay, you know your mindset is there, but you stopped. So there's a little chink in your mindset that we got to fix. Good? So the power of the mind, like you said earlier, the power of the mind, guys, is in my opinion, when I found this out, and it was in my teens when I found this out, was life-changing. Because sharpening the sword of your body sharpens the sword of your mind. Okay? But I didn't know that back then. Okay? But I knew how interesting the mind was, because all I kept doing was talking about my goals and visualizing them and dreaming of them and talking about them, and all day, every day. And one of my goals I hit 5 years after I set out to achieve it. Another one of my goals I hit 8 years after I set out to achieve it. You know? And that was the power of the mind, of power of one more, getting up every day and working for it. You know? So the mind, especially when something like that happens, can change up on you in a heartbeat. You can be the strongest guy today, and then you lose somebody or you lose something, and what then? You know, if you sharpened your sword every single day as hard as you can and tilted that scale every day, then when that happens, you can recover from it faster. Okay? But if you didn't, and we talk about these guys that were given things and they didn't work for it, then that's when I said earlier, that's when they lose things, or when they run into that problem, they quit, they break down. It's a catastrophe for them. You know? So forget your body. Of course you need to sharpen your body. But the mind dictates success or dictates failure. That's the mind. You know? So you have to wake up every single day and rewire your mindset. Anything negative that you listen to, anything negative that you watch, you see, you hear, okay, you partake in, you need to get rid of it. Because anything negative or weak that you partake in keeps this weak. Because what do you do when it's 1 week before nationals and you got beat by some white belt and didn't get to fight the guy that beat you? Just 1 week. And then your mind starts fighting you. Forget it, bro. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. You know? But we flipped the switch and we started drilling your head. One of the last things I remember telling you is, I said, hey, belief. Mm-hmm. You remember it?
Yeah.
You know,
when I was getting ready.
You know, I said, believe. Believe in yourself. If you cannot believe in yourself, you will not achieve it. You will not achieve it no matter what if you do not believe in yourself. I can believe in you. And I did. And I knew you were going to win. I knew it all along. Yeah, you were going to win. The whole time. From the get-go. When I got you to do it, I knew you were going to win.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, hey, you're just making stuff up. He won. I had no doubt. I wouldn't make that agreement with you if I had doubt. You know what I'm saying? That's a big trip.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I'm saying? And doesn't matter how much I believe in you. If you can't believe in yourself, you know, and your sword wasn't sharp enough, then you would have never won nationals. You would be crying about it until today. Until today, you'll be sitting here crying about it. So, sacrifice, tilting the scale, and sacrificing eating, family time, leisure time. Sacrificing all of that to see the other side of it, or enjoying all that to be miserable on the other side of it.
Yeah.
Which one? Pick which one. And that's what people don't see. You know what I'm saying? That's what people don't see. People go through this journey of life. Okay? On routine. They tell you have fun in your teens and your 20s.
Yep.
Get out of here.
You better party, man. You're only going to be young one time in your life.
You're going to be young one time, but then you have a midlife crisis. Then what? Then you have, a divorce rate through the roof. And what is one of the biggest reasons there's a divorce rate?
Comparison,
financial. Not looking for approval. You know what I'm saying? People not being sharp for their other person. People going through life and not being happy for 30, 40 years. Because they didn't decide to sacrifice at first. Because sacrificing is hard. Tilting the scale is hard.
It's in their comfort zone.
They're in their comfort zone. But if you decide to make that switch early on in life, early on, okay, you can change your life's direction. You can change your family's life's direction. You can change your, the generational, your bloodlines, the life direction. And you can change the world that we're in. They'll look at you like you're crazy. But but the truth is, you have to be a little bit of crazy. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna think like that, there's some loose screws in here. But when it's all said and done, when I'm long gone, and the gym is still going, and programs are feeding the hungry, and programs are feeding the bullied and the orphans, then this job was done. I didn't get to live the life that I wanted, maybe for the whole life that I wanted, but somebody else gets to, And in my opinion, if everybody thought that way, then everything would be better in this world. Relationships, business, you'll make more money, you'll be happier. At first it's tough, but it's the after. It's the journey, after the journey. Now, you, after going through this journey, do you have anything against Blake?
No.
You've let go of it. All I heard was Blake. This is all I heard. And I kept telling you, just shut up, leave it alone. Remember?
He was living in my mind rent-free.
He was living in your mind rent-free, which drove you nuts,
A little bit.
So now you've done the thing. You've moved on. There's nothing about Blake. The journey that you went through is worth gold. Mm-hmm. The results at the end, of course, is a big deal. But the journey that you've gone through and the way you rewired your brain, your mindset, that's going to stay with you a very long time. And now you're a kids coach. Now kids are asking for you to teach them. Now you're giving it back to the youth. And the youth are one of the most important things that we can do is coach the youth and lead the youth. because that's the future. So if you lead them and you coach them and teach these kids at a young age, you don't need approval. You know, you don't need anybody's thumbs up. You have the confidence. You have everything you need. Then these kids are going to grow up and change the world. These kids are going to be strong men. These kids are going to be strong women. You know? And these are the ones that are going to make the world a better place. But it starts with us leading the path for them, right? And if you're not sharp, you can't help anybody. So you coaching these kids, you coaching the kid that was bullied and changing his life, that's something that will stick in this world for a long time. You know, giving back is the one thing that you can do that will stay for forever.
100%. You know, all you're talking about is like planting seeds. You know, they say that in Rome, when the men stopped planting seeds for trees that they wouldn't pick the fruits of, for trees that their kids would pick up. When men stopped thinking in that way, that's when everything started going down. Mm-hmm. And the future generations, they got nothing. Now they got to struggle and try to find a seed. You know? So you go through all that, right? Knowing that you could have been at home, you know, on the Call of Duty, late night, not on a diet, whatever. How good does the glory of winning nationals, having that medal, feel compared to your instant gratification? It could have been just being lazy.
Honestly, man, really, it wasn't enough for me. Even though I won something at that caliber level of competition, I want more, you know, and I try to contain it.
It's working.
I try to contain it, but like coach, like he told me, he asked me, "Hey, are you gonna go back to the gym Monday?" And I looked at him, and I was jokingly about it. I was like, "No, maybe," and he was lecturing me about it, how to be a champion. I'm like, "Coach, chill out. I was just kidding." Of course, I'm gonna be there Monday. So, like, even though you done something great or you accomplished one of your goal, right? There's always more that you can accomplish, especially with something that I feel like I haven't accomplished anything yet. Like a medal, I won a title, you know, and it was so small for me because I compare myself, and this could be toxic or this just could be.
It's not.
You know, comparison is the killer of happiness or whatever. Something
It's a
like
thief
that.
of joy.
Yeah. So I compare myself to the pros, right? And it works for me, right? It makes me better. It makes me not be complacent and like make me sit at home. You know, when I compare myself to all those great jiu-jitsu guys, it makes me want to work hard. Even though I'm a year in, and these guys have like decades of experience, and I'm comparing myself to them, like I'm never gonna keep up. But me complaining and sitting here complaining about it isn't gonna help. Mm-hmm. So either I can do something about it, or just sit at home and complain that I could have done something about it. Mm-hmm. You know, so I would like continue to still train, right, and be disciplined, right, and self-control, and then I think those play a huge part of like commitment and have that determination of like achieving something.
Yeah.
You know?
So comparison is a thief of joy, okay? And when you learn how to control this, then I believe the doors are really going to open up. But you have to know how to do this. Comparison is a thief of joy to weak people, to guys and ladies that have weak swords, weak mindset. Because when you compare, that's what we're suffering in this society.
Yeah.
This person's on Instagram posting, you know, this guy's on Instagram seeing this dude was posting with all these chicks, you know, and this teenager wants to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. I want to be like Top G.
You know what I'm saying? I want to be like Top G. This person's taking a picture in the jet, or taking a picture with the G-Wagon, or taking a picture with the Ferrari, taking a picture, you know, with I'm in taking a vacation. I'm in whatever island you want to say.
Bahamas?
You know, the Bahamas, whatever it is. And these guys are not even happy. The ones that are doing it are not even happy because they're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for approval. Okay? So the people that are not yet successful are comparing to them. And so what happens when you compare to them and you don't do any work? You become depressed. You become upset. You become ungrateful. Why are gratitude boards or gratitude lists are good for you? Because it reminds you that you have more than you think that you don't have.
Amen.
You know? But when you compare yourself to all these people and you're not doing anything to get you just one step closer or one more whatever closer, then you're going to be depressed. But if you compare yourself, and I wouldn't say necessarily compare, but look up to the people that paved the road. You compare yourself, you look up to these people that paved the road, and you get off the couch, you get out of bed, and you put one foot in front of the next, then that's when the real things happen. That's where the real success happens. It's not bad if you get up and you work for it. You comparing yourself to Tynan, same weight class, arguably the best in the world right now. It's not impossible. You have to change a lot of things, you know? And if you just sat at home and compared yourself to him, oh, it's going to eat you up. It's going to eat you alive. You know why? Because the body, your soul, your mind knows when you are bullshitting.
Oh, yeah. I see it all the time.
You know what I'm saying? Your soul and your mind know when you're lying.
100%.
So you're not going to get any closer. So when you don't get any closer, what happens? You get more into your mind. You get more depressed. You get more angry. You get more sad. Which puts you in this cycle of, this guy is so lucky. It must be nice.
All the haters, man.
All the haters. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? When people tell me their goals, right? They'll be like, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to start training a lot in jiu-jitsu in 2 months or in a week or next week. I looked at them in my head. I was like, you BSing. Because if you truly want something, guys, if you truly set a goal for yourself and you're determined to reach that goal, you're going to start right away. Mm-hmm. You remember what I told you, my recent goal that I wanted to do, like my 1 year resolution?
Yeah.
It's reading a book. I hate reading, guys, but I know it'll help you. And I told them, hey, next year I want to start reading a book once a year. But I told him, but I'm going to start now, because I know that if I start now, I may eventually start when the next year starts.
No, don't lie. Don't lie. When did you say you're going to start?
This year.
No.
What you mean when I start?
No, don't lie.
I'm not lying. I said
We're not going to lie on the podcast. You said you're going to start when?
Next year.
New Year's.
New Year's, yeah, okay.
Just like all the New Year's, New Me people BS.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why I told you that, hey, I'm going to start like at the end of this year, which I have. I started on the book that you gave me.
No. Okay. You said you're going to start New Year's. So now Ben is BS and his ego's getting away.
No.
You said you're going to start New Year's.
I know, guys, look.
And what was the first question I asked?
Stop BSing?
I told you stop BSing. But I said, what did I ask you when you said you're going to start New Year's?
Oh, you're going to read 5 books?
Well, you said you're going to do it once a month or once every few months.
Oh, yeah.
But I said, why wait till New Year's?
Yeah.
Why wait? You know what I'm saying? Look at you now. You're reading a book. You've already done 1 chapter.
Yeah. It's already motivating me.
Why? It's not the book is good, guys. Read the book Relentless by Tim Grover.
Phenomenal.
It's gonna change your life. But it's not only the book the book is good. It's you did it.
Yeah.
That's what people miss out on. It's not that I went for a swim and it's summertime and it feels good because it's hot outside. No, it's because you did something that you usually wouldn't do. So you started reading now instead of January 1st, because all the January 1st people are full of it.
A couple months in, they stop.
You know, not even a couple weeks in, they stop.
True.
The first week, go just wait a few days, and the gym is half empty.
Right.
You know, so you starting this book, your mind is like, good job. Your body's like, good job, because you decided to pull your sword out and you decided to sharpen it. Okay, that's where confidence comes from. Confidence comes from you actually doing the work. Confidence is not only a nice body. There's guys that have phenomenal bodies, but talk to them. They can't bust their way out of a paper bag because they're so weak mentally. They have no confidence, but they have a strong body. They have a nice body. They're handsome. They're whatever it is.
You rewind a little bit. You remember when I told you why did I join the gym? Or what I did jiu-jitsu? It's dealing with confidence.
You told me that you wanted to be confident in a fight, I think, or in your capabilities or something like that.
Yeah, something around that. So in the Marine Corps, I in that environment, guy, is very alpha, right? You either be alpha or be beta, and you get bullied and get picked on. So in the Marine Corps experience, I got out. I thought I had confidence, right? I wouldn't be afraid to square with anybody, right? Couple years,
I already know where this is going.
couple years down the line, my confidence started to rattle. I started to compare myself, and I wouldn't normally do this, right? I would size up with every single guy that walked up into the gym, and like, hey, can I handle him? And then I came to this realization, man, some of these smaller people may F me up, right? And I even though like I wouldn't like back down of a fight, but I want to be able to feel like I can handle myself. Mm-hmm. And then all I know is just bark, intimidation, right? And that's what I did. I intimidate people, and then it 50% it works half the time until they check my ass. Right?
Insecurities are loud, confidence is quiet.
Exactly, right? And that quote, live inside of me. So I joined jiu-jitsu because of my confidence, right? And it makes me humble, right? You can ask, like, I remember every time I win a medal, people ask me, how'd you do? And I was like, I did great. I'm like, oh, it's okay, man, you get them next time. Not knowing that I won first place, right? There's some people that know me, like, when I say I did all right, they say, you won, didn't you? I was like, yeah, right? Because I don't want to boast my, ego up, right? And I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to create that trend for me, and it will build that false confidence, just like how you told me about it, because like you said, ego is high, loud, and confidence low.
But what you said there is pretty good, and that's happening because your confidence went up. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Jiu-jitsu is very powerful.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu is so powerful, and it did not make sense to me at all at the beginning. But I would say a lot of my success is because of jiu-jitsu. Because I have true confidence from jiu-jitsu. I know my capabilities, These days, like we talk and like you said, you just say, oh, I did all right. Before, maybe a few years ago, oh, yeah, I won, bro. I mauled this guy.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Or you would dress a certain way, or you would drive a certain car because your confidence is not there. But now that your confidence is there, you don't need validation from anybody.
Yeah.
So that's why men act a certain way, women act a certain way. It's because the confidence is not there. So these guys need to dress, act, buy certain things to replace it. But it doesn't matter. When you are not confident, you will not find true happiness. Because you're always doing something
To please others.
to please others. You know? So you need to do something to gain real confidence. Lifting weights helps. Working out, whatever it is, Pilates, running ultra marathons helps.
Yoga?
Yoga, is a form. But nothing helps the way that combat sports, but jiu-jitsu specifically. Because there's no lying in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, yeah.
The 100-pound girl, the 120-pound girl chokes out 180-pound men. The 140-pound man, 140-pound teenager chokes out 200-pound men. So it doesn't get more real than that. There is no lying to yourself. And it's a day after day after day of trying to get up and go to train to get mauled.
So I have a question for you. Most of the time when you go to training, what do you do that motivate you, or what motivates you, or is it just discipline?
So it's discipline, but I talked about this last time. What do I tell you, Gio? Why do we train?
Because you never know when somebody's going to come and try to take your lunch money.
There's always going to be somebody that's going to come get you.
That's what motivates you?
Every single day. Every single day. There's going to be a business that comes to try to take your business out. There's going to be somebody that's going to try to hurt you physically, emotionally. It doesn't matter what it is. There's going to be something, maybe not somebody, that's going to try to take you out. Illness, mental health, physical health. There's something that's going to come get you. And if that's not enough motivation to get you up to go train, then I don't know what it is. Because if it's not about you, then it's about your family. If it's not about your family, it's about your community. If it's not about your community, it's about your country. You know what I'm saying? So if the idea, and this is for the men specifically, I'm going to hit you where it hurts. For the men specifically that think they can protect their wives or their kids and they don't do no training, I feel sorry for you. Because when it comes down to it, you're not going to be able to do anything. Coach Josh and I talk about this all the time. When we see somebody come in, or we say we're out somewhere and we see this big jack guy, and he's just running his mouth, and we're like, he doesn't know. He doesn't know the reality of this. The reality of it is, if I was a bad guy, I can take his lunch money and he can't do nothing about it. Then what? So for all those men that don't train, you better train. You know what I mean? And I remember I was working, and this is not the best part of town, and it was a big guy, huge. Mm-hmm. And this is his lack of confidence. I remember, I'm not a big guy. I'm 5'8", 155 pounds. And but this is the part of town. This is how it is. And I just say, "What's up, boss?" That's all I said. That's normal talk. That's normal slang. You know what I'm saying? "What's up, homie? What's up, boss?" Don't call me boss, bro. I guess that triggered you. For what?
He's not the boss.
You know what I'm saying? Apparently he ain't.
He said, "Call me employee, bro."
But why does he do that? Because he's not confident. He has nothing to back it up. He's just big. I remember one time at work, there was somebody working with me, and this guy is throwing this fuss about a finance application. And this dude was 6'3", 6'4", and this was in the hood, being transparent. In the hood, tatted up, and I'm like, all right, excellent. I'm saying, like, it's too early in the morning for this. And he gets an argument because he wants us to guarantee that he's going to get approval. Well, there's no guarantee. You have to do an application, then we can see if you get an approval. And this dude starts going off. And I was just sitting on the other side of the store, going off with the sales rep. Just going off. And he's posturing up, chest is coming out, and he's yelling and he's doing all this. And he's threatening. And I'm like, bro, why are you mad? We're telling you how this works. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, leave. And so sales rep tells him that, and I walk over there and I tell him, hey, what's up, homie? And I said, what's up, brother? And he was standing up, and I went right next to him, and I leaned. There was a table like this. I leaned over at the table. I sat at the table, and I just said, hey, man, how can I help you? And he's yelling, barking. And I told him, look, man, this is how this works. Finance procedure is this way. You can do it and see if they approve you. They're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. There is no other option. Either you do it, or if you don't do it, you got to pay cash. There's nothing else. But this guy wanted to bully us, you know? And he went from barking up here to down here because I calmly walked over to him and I explained to him and I gave him the two options. The third option, he wasn't going to like it. You know? So these guys don't know the reality. And I know the reality. Even though I'm trained, I know the reality that anybody can take me out. I know that. You know? So me knowing that makes me make sure that I keep training every day. Because the what if for me. You know? You ask me, Gio asked me sometimes, you or a silverback gorilla. I'm betting on myself every time. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bet on myself. If silverback gorilla grabs one of you guys.
I'm crying.
If silverback gorilla grabs one of you guys, we don't have a choice but to fight. You know what I'm saying? That's my belief. Now, do I know the reality? I know the reality. You know, somebody grabs your family. You know, whatever that person is or whatever he's capable of, it's going to be a problem. So why think that you can be about that life and do nothing about it, or train and be about that life when that thing happens? If that's not enough motivation to get you up every day and go train, then I don't know what is. You know? And this is the same thing for the guys that, you know, say, I don't want to work at this company, or I don't want to work for somebody, and it's 40 hours a week. Man, let me tell you something. If you think you're going to work for yourself and work less than 40 hours a week, you out of your mind. You're going to have to get up every single day, 7 days a week, 80, 90, 100, 120 hours, 130, 40 hours a week, every single day for years.
But what about my work-life balance, though?
There is no work-life balance. You know? So it's the mindset that we have in this world. It's that the egos are through the roof. You know? They think they know something about something and they don't. But they think so, and they want to believe. They lie to themselves and believe they are, because that's the easiest thing to do. It's easy to not get up and train. It's hard to get up and train. You know? So that's the shift that this society needs to make for us to have changes. You know? So, like I said, if that doesn't motivate you to get up, then I don't know what does.
So how can you, like, for example, in jiu-jitsu, how can you not quit when you're tired, or when you're or when you're in a bad position and you have no energy? And because, like, you're not going to be thinking about what motivates you while you're getting mauled.
Well, if you're mentally strong, you will. When you're mentally strong or you're mentally sharp, you will always go back to why you're doing this. Why am I getting up every day to train? I don't train for a tournament. I train because I'm a martial artist. I try to be a warrior, and I need to be prepared for whatever happens. And I have to remind myself every day why. Every single day I wake up. Every single day I wake up at 5 a.m. I have to remind myself why I wake up at 5 a.m. If I don't remind myself when I first wake up why I wake up, I won't get out of bed. I won't get out of bed. I'll tell you right now. Tomorrow, if I don't wake up and remind myself why I get out of bed at 5 a.m. to start my day and get, an extra 30, 40 hours of work a week, I won't accomplish that. And if you say that you haven't quit before, I think you're a liar. I've quit. I'll tell you right here. I'll be direct with you. I'll be frank with you. I've quit before. But after I quit, I had to rewire my brain. So you have to rewire your brain. And you have to push yourself daily to do hard things. So you make your mind harder, your body harder, your mind sharper, your body sharper, your sword sharper. You have to do something hard every single day. So when I bench press, I'm 135, right? So just a couple weeks ago, for example, I couldn't do 4x15 on 135. This week, 135, what did I tell you?
Yeah.
Monday, I did it. But I was in pain. First thing in the morning, 5 a.m., and I'm just pushing. And I told myself, I'm doing this. But me pushing, it hurt me. It was hard. So that pushed the quit away from me. That made me sharper, so the quit has gone farther away. The more I do that every single day when I work out, and people say this is toxic, the harder I push to that threshold, the limit, my daily limit, for example. If I get to that daily limit and stop, there's going to be quit in me. If I get to that daily limit and I run through it every single day, the quit moves farther away from me.
I see that.
It leaves my system. So that's how you stop it. But you have to do it every single day. I'm trying. And that's where people miss out on, is they have to do it every single day.
100%. I want to touch a little bit on what you mentioned about guys. I think we as men, our ego always gets in the way, and we lie to ourselves a lot about, I'm not weak, I won't give up, I'll see red and you won't know I'm different, bro. And the other day I was thinking in jiu-jitsu I compete in the heaviest division. It's I think it's 225 or 230 and up. And in every tournament there's always either one guy or two other guys. Very rarely is there 4 guys in the division. And I was like, why is that? Why is it that big guys barely compete in jiu-jitsu? And I was thinking, I'm like, you know why I think it is? I think it's because big guys, they think I'm big. I can take anybody. I'm big. I don't need jiu-jitsu. I'm strong. I got muscles. And I was like, that's probably why big guys don't compete in jiu-jitsu. You realize the divisions that are stacked is 135 to 185. Stacked. And then from up there, it just dwindles down. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because I think guys who are big, guys that think, I'm 6 feet, they think 6 feet is a fighting style. Bro, 6 feet is not a fighting style. It's and I think a lot of the men lie to themselves, thinking I'm big, I'm heavy, whatever, and I'm good. I can protect myself. And I think it's a big delusion, and it's you'll run into a wall one day because somebody. I think a lot of guys bark, and a lot of people will get intimidated just by the size. But you're into somebody that's trained, man, and you're gonna turn into outfielder. You're gonna run into a wall.
Yeah. I think what you're saying is right about that, but I think the other part to that is sometimes we don't see those big guys because, like you said, naturally they're big and they think they don't need it. But these guys, when they show up to the gym, they're 6'3", 6'4", 6'2", 250, 300, 220 pounds solid muscle. College football player, former this, former that, Marines, military, strong guys, but they're big guys. And then what happens in the gym? What happens on the jiu-jitsu mats to these guys?
They get checked.
They get checked by who?
By the Met enforcer?
Nope.
The
Forget
smaller
Met
guys.
enforcer. They get checked by the smaller guys. And what does that do to their confidence?
It
Shattered.
plummets.
Shatters them. So they run away. That's the problem. And these are the same guys that are not strong men. You know, I had one guy, I'm not going to say which branch of the military, but he was special forces. He was 6'4", 6'5", 220, 230. Solid muscles. Solid. This dude was strong. He was handsome. He was strong. He was military, high level.
The whole nine.
Everything.
Man.
And I was coaching. And I put somebody, no, it was me. I was on top of a mount position. And we were doing positional sparring. And I will give respect to the guy in the aspect that he didn't quit training jiu-jitsu. But that particular moment, he quit. Okay? And I was 145 pounds back then. And he tapped in this position. It wasn't even a submission. It was just pressure. And I looked at him, I said, and I'm coaching. And I don't like when my guys quit. And I looked at him, I said, why you quit? Storms jumps up. I didn't quit. And he says what he is. What is a Special Force Marine?
Recon. Oh, no, a MARSOC.
MARSOC. You know, let's just say MARSOC. I'm a MARSOC. I
Really?
don't quit. Jumps up. That's all he says to me. I just laughed. First of all, thank you to all the guys that serve this country. Respect you guys a lot. But,
Well, we were pretty egoistic.
you know, but he jumped up and did that. And I'm like, what does that have to do with this? You're big, you're strong, but you just quit, homie. That's thank you for that. And good job. You're doing something that you did something that not a lot of people can. But you just quit. You know, but why he did that? Because of his background, because he's 6'4", because he's shredded, because he's strong, because he had everything on his side. But he got checked by the 145-pound guy that's always smiling, that's always welcoming people, that's always very calm. You know? He didn't get checked by a guy that's his size. When you get checked by a guy your size, oh, he's big and strong. I hear it until today in jiu-jitsu. It's a 185-pound, 200-pound guy, and he's like, oh, that dude is so super strong. Bro, if you train jiu-jitsu and you're 185 pounds, blue belt, purple belt, you should have no problem. With anybody. Anybody. You should have no problem. Of course, unless they are brown, black, and they're, you know, high level. But an average person to walk through the doors, I don't care if they're 500 pounds. If you're 185 pounds, you're a chimpanzee. You're an ape. You're physically strong at 185 pounds. You can move. You're strong. You have technique. You shouldn't have a problem with no guy that walks through the door. But it's a built-in excuse. He's big. You know? So, size, there's ego. There's ego across the board, but bigger guys, the ego gets bigger because they naturally think they should beat you.
100%.
Do I still have that ego?
Yes. Yes, and I called you out on it last Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was bad. I just had to remind myself I was injured, but, you know.
Yeah, but it's that what that says, and everybody has ego. My ego got checked before the podcast, guys. I'll be honest with you. So I'm not. People say I'm physically strong. I'm not physically strong. I do use leverage and balance in jiu-jitsu. People think that's strength, but it's not. But I bench press how much, Ben?
Maybe 135 and lower.
135 and lower. That's what I bench press. Okay. Before we came to this podcast, Ben was like, hey, coach, I saw this video and I wanted to see what you thought about it or something like that. And he's like, it said something along the lines of, you're not a man or something like that if you can't bench press 225. Yeah. And I was like, bro, just one time? He was like, yeah. I'm like, bro, let's go to the bench. That's all it said. I said, let's go to the bench right now. And
we had a podcast.
He's like, we got a podcast. You're going to get hurt right now. You need to warm up. You need to do this. I don't care. You just hit me where it hurts. Rack the weights. I'm over here just grabbing weights. Forget the podcast. We started 30 minutes later because of that. And we racked the weights, and I was like, Gio, get on one side and bang. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't even need you guys. I'm finna get this. And I go, and I push it up, and then I come down, and it gets stuck. And I'm stuck. And I'm like, bro, this is not good. They pulled it off of me. The second time, I'm like, guys, do not touch it. And I go, and I try to get it, and they unrack it for me, and I pull it down, and I'm pushing as hard as I can, and I get it up, and I felt something like a little misbalance. I'm like, dude, I looked at GL, like, did you touch it? He's like, no. I looked at Andrea, he said, no. I'm like, somebody touched it. Somebody's lying to me. And I looked back, and Ben had this look, and I'm like, all right, I can tell when you're lying. And he was lying. He helped me up. I didn't see it, but he pulled it up. I was like, nope, I'm doing it again. And I went, and I did it again, and I got stuck again. First thing I did, I made up an excuse. I was like, hey, I did chest day today. And Ben tried to make me feel better. Like, hey, that's why you couldn't get it up. So Monday, I'm doing it. This coming week, I'm doing 225. I don't care what it takes. But
Coach, you're going to hurt yourself.
But my ego got checked. We all have ego. Okay? But we need to know how to control it. We need to know how to control it. I think your ego should always stay with you. But it shouldn't be an ego that's through the roof. Your ego should be neutral. Sometimes you need to use your ego. Sometimes you need to hide your ego. You need to know it's a tool. You need to know when to pull it out.
I see.
Okay?
I didn't see it like that.
You know?
Using it as a tool.
Because your ego also is drive.
Right.
You know? I got triggered today. I needed to push 225.
You almost had it, surprisingly.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't get it up. Don't make me feel better.
No, I'm just saying. It was impressive.
Failed. My ego got checked really bad, and I felt really bad. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm still thinking about it, but it's okay. I'm gonna push 225. I promise you, I will. So your ego came out last week, you know, but it came out in the wrong way. You know, you are injured. And your injury is the second part of your journey. You know, I remember Carolyn, a woman that trains with us, she hurt her shoulder pretty bad. And I told her, I said, this is part of the journey. This is the journey of jiu-jitsu. Of course, you don't want to enjoy an injury. But this is part of it. Enjoy it. You're going to look back and talk about how you train and how this injury happened. If we look at it in a bad way, then it's going to eat us up. But if we look at it as a good way, then we can see the good in it. Okay, in your case, you were a top player. That's all you played. You had no bottom game at all. You had no bottom game. But now, look at your bottom game. Yes, you're getting beat by guys. We're going to say beat by guys that are newer, guys that are white belts. You know, you are a blue belt now. And your ego hurts every day. I know. You don't got to tell me. I see it on you. Okay? But that's good that it happened in your journey, because this is going to make you stronger. Your broken hands are going to make you stronger. Your broken hands making your ego come out, which is making you realize that you need to control it. Your broken hand made your bottom game strong now. So now you're more of a well-rounded fighter. You know, your broken hand is teaching you patience, which you don't necessarily see right now. You know, you're probably starting to see it now. But patience is something that you need to have.
Technique.
You know, your technique is getting sharper because you have to worry about your technique instead of using your powerlifting strength, bodybuilding strength. You know? So is it something bad? Yes. And your mind doesn't like it. Your mind starts breaking down.
Yeah.
Because something bad happened to you, a death in a family, a loss in your business, shutting down your business, a bad month, a bad week in your business, you know? But you need to see the good in it. when I lost my business at 18 years old, I was only more motivated. You know, I failed miserably, and it only motivated me more. Did it suck? Absolutely. But I refused to quit. When I quit Christian Brothers University, at first, I didn't think anything of it. It didn't take not even 6 months, and it was eating me alive. I went back, and I graduated with biomedical engineering. You know? So it's rewiring your brain. What do you do when bad things happen? What do you do when bad things happen? You know? And automatically, when bad things happen, what you need to do is rewire it to see the good. And rewire it to see the solutions. To look for solutions. To solve the problem. Don't let it, something bad happens, you break down and you cry. You have to make that shift. If you want to be a high achiever in today's world, in today's society, and you're starting from the bottom, if you don't have that scale, balance scale tilted, then it's not going to happen. I'll tell you right now. Some people are like, well, that's not nice of you, Mo. I'll tell you right now again, it's not going to happen.
I agree. I was that guy. Always about balance. You know, you want to live a normal life, it's always about balance. But now me trying to achieve this title, I can't just worry about my balance scale. I need to tip it. I need to do the extra work, wake up early and stuff.
100%, I agree. And like Mo, last month, the month of September, he challenged me, right? Because honestly, everybody got pride, everybody got ego, right? And I thought I was working hard, you know, listening to music, talking about I'm a hustler, you know, and I thought I was working hard. Don't get me wrong. Was I working harder than the average person? Yes. Was I working hard as a high achiever? No. But I was lying to myself saying that I was, you know? And so it wasn't until I got challenged and I had to sacrifice a lot of things. That's one big thing that I realized. Sacrifice, you know? Because previous times I tried to hit goals, but like I asked you, like still living the same lifestyle and expecting something different, right? You're still going to do the same thing. And what I was saying was, I just lost my train of thought.
So you're sacrificing and you're doing the same thing.
Yeah, so I was sacrificing and I'm doing the same thing, right? And so
you're trying to hit your goals, but you weren't sacrificing. You were doing the same things, but you're trying to hit that big goal.
Yeah, I was trying to hit that big goal, right? And so I realized I have to sacrifice things. I had to sacrifice a lot of pleasures. I wrote down a list at the beginning of the month. And what I realized was, and what I think a lot of people lie to themselves, I realized that I was lying to myself. I thought I was working hard. I thought I was a hustler. I thought, no, I'm putting in the time. I'm doing this. I'm doing the best of my abilities. And it wasn't until he challenged me. He was like, okay, if you're doing that, let's see this. Let's see you hit this goal. And I realized how much effort goes into actually being a high achiever, you know? And that opened my eyes. Like, this is no joke, you know? And goes back to what you were saying is like, it's I think a lot of people think it's easy or that they're doing fine or, oh, I'm on the right path. And it's like, you got to be honest with yourself and step back and be like, I'm not doing enough. You know, there's always more. Like you say, there's always better that you could do. So that's something big that I learned. It's that you can always work harder.
Mm-hmm. Can I say one last thing? So I'm like, I want to say something.
You can say as much as you want.
I want to say
this is about Ben Nguyen.
No, you. I want to say how grateful I am towards you, for you. I have brothers, older brothers. I have two older brothers that, you know, have businesses and do businesses, but the age gap is too significant for me to get close with them. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't bond well with them, all right? Especially with the different mindset that we have or method to communicate. But with you, I'm grateful that you have experienced what you had experienced to hold me accountable, mm-hmm. right? Especially in jiu-jitsu. right? The amount of time I didn't want to wake up or go to training or didn't want to run is like countless time that I want to sit at home and play games and be complacent. But when you shoot me a text, want to run, question mark, I knew if I give you an excuse or say no, you're going to hold it over above my head for the rest of my life. So it's either suffer now or suffer forever.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, it's an easy choice, right?
Yep.
So that's why.
It's not an easy choice.
Oh,
But you need to make the decision. The actual decision is you can make it easy.
yeah,
It's there. Pick which one you want.
right.
They're both gonna be hard. Pick which one you want. One is gonna be good. One is not.
True. Yeah.
You know?
So that's why be train at Border Martial Art. You have Coach Mo hold you accountable for the rest of your life.
I'm there for you guys. But that's 100%. You know, it's easy to do. It's easy to ignore things. It's easy to lie to yourself. Okay? And I'm going to start wrapping it up, but it's easier to lie to yourself. But guys, and earlier you said it, is if you want to have a balanced life, you're going to have a normal life.
Yeah.
If you want a balanced life, you're going to have a normal life. You have to tilt the scale. You know, if you want the ranch, I want the ranch. If you want to be a champion, if you want to have a happy family, if you want to change the world, you want to make a difference in the world by feeding the hungry, helping the orphans, you know, helping people around the world. If you want to make a difference, if you want to be a high achiever, you have to tilt the scale. There is no balance. If you want a successful business, there is no balance. You know, but you have to do it by sharpening your sword every single day. You have to get up every single day. If you can get up every single day and just do it one day at a time, don't look at it as a week or a month. Just get up every single day and do it one day at a time. Take one day at a time. Put one foot in front of the other foot and do it again. Put the other foot in front of the other foot and keep doing it. Then you're going to get one step closer to your goals. You're going to get one step closer to your dreams. And guys, I'm here to tell you, I promise you, if you get up every single day, you can achieve those goals. You can achieve those dreams. You just need to get up and you need to practice the mindset and practice the idea of sharpening your sword every single day, and you will achieve whatever you want. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. You can do it. I believe in you. You need to believe in you, and you need to get after it, okay? I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you guys if you watched all the way to the end. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Thank you guys for finishing this with us. And please like, share, subscribe, tag. I appreciate all the messages. I appreciate everything. This way, we can have the abilities to keep giving you guys value and helping you guys out. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Peace out.